Star-Lord.
Star-Lord.
Who?
Star-Lord, man. Legendary outlaw. Forget it.
So then I said, yeah, I ain't got nothing. I'm losing it. Back me up here.
What do you mean? I haven't got any silly jokes for you.
So,
do you want me to look up bad puns?
No, I've got one. So then I said, baby, you're turning me green. You must be a Skrull.
That is so terrible.
Yep, and that's the way the world ends.
Meanwhile, are you still recording?
Yep, started. Yeah.
Well, I'll sing a song over for the intro anyway. Welcome to the show. Hi.
That's Jack. Or is it Jordan? You'll never know, really. How will you know? How will you know who's who?
Maybe we're just really good voice impersonators. And we just worked each other's voices out. Absolutely.
That's Jack Kirby. I'm Stan Lee, and I'm doing a really bad Stan Lee impression.
You have got the name of any famous comic book writer.
I'm sure if I dug deep enough. Some guy who had about a 3-issue run on Teen Titans back in the 90s or something.
If I type in Jordan comic book artist, let's see who comes up.
Hey, writers count too, you know.
I suppose so.
Writers are just and cover artists and inkers and pencilers, all of them.
Somebody called Jordan Crane.
We rhyme.
Yeah.
We rhyme.
There you go. He does sort of in indie comics. Yeah. Anyway, what have you got to talk about today? Or this evening?
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, yeah.
It's a movie. It's real, believe it or not.
It is.
I think we have to give props to character designs after last time we discussed at many lengths character blunders.
Well, yeah, it's not. There's no Quicksilver in this. No, there's no. No.
They're pretty faithful.
Oof.
I mean, that's not really Peter Quill's hair colour, but whatever, we'll let that slide. I mean, I'm not going to get antsy-pantsy about hair colour changes.
What hair colour has he got?
He's more like a in the comic. Well, in the comics he's like blonder now, even though he wasn't. He didn't used to be. But in the movie, of course, it's sort of like red auburn kind of motif going for him.
I'm just trying to find an image of the character lineup. Do you want to talk a little bit about the general concept of the movie, just in case people don't know who Guardians of the Galaxy are?
Space Avengers. There. Done.
It's pretty accurate.
One and done.
Yep.
You've got your team leader, you've got your female member, Deadly Assassin, ironically. No parallels there. Except Black Widow's not green, but, you know, there's parallel. You've got your big hulking green man, who's the strong man of the group in both teams.
Mm-hmm.
You've got, well, Avengers don't have a talking tree. That's where the comparison's kind of, or a raccoon.
That's not.
There's your 2 wild cards.
They released a trailer pretty recently. It's due to come out, the movie, on August the 1st in the United States. Vin Diesel plays the giant tree.
I mean, if
that's all you need to know, really. I mean,
that's not got you lining up at the ticket centres right now. I mean, what are you doing with your life?
If you've never read Guardians of the Galaxy before, the giant tree is called Groot. He only ever says three lines at all in every comic I've ever seen him in. Anyway, he does technically talk.
Well, Rocket can understand him apparently.
Yeah, so can So can Maximus.
That's
my
true.
brother. But
Yes.
Maximus can understand Lockjaw.
And that's just ridiculous.
Which, while ridiculous, Groot apparently knows quantum engineering, so there we go. We've also got Dave Bautista as Drax the Destroyer, just some ridiculously muscly guy. Zoe Saldana as Gamora. Karen Gillan as Nebula, I'm not really sure who Nebula is. Chris Pratt as Star-Lord, and I don't know who Rocket Raccoon is, which is really embarrassing.
Bradley Cooper,
Bradley Cooper.
of course, because when you think of Rocket Raccoon, you think of, well, you don't think of anyone really.
He's a raccoon. um, I like the costume designs. I think they're quite nice.
Very faithful, especially
Everyone looks fine.
especially
I
Drax.
mean,
That's basically what Drax looks like. At least newer Drax. Older Drax, that doesn't look anything like. But then they're not basing it on older Drax, because older Drax looks a bit ridiculous. He's got purple robe, everything. Got a nice little hood. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they do pretty well on the designs of the thing. I mean, they got the Nova Corps in the film. I think, I mean, for what they are, like technically a Green Lantern.
Rip off.
Not say rip off, I'll say mirror. They are kind of intergalactic guys.
Space
And they look kind of like intergalactic police in this movie. I mean, I would prefer they kept the original outfits, of course. But I think they're just sticking to the whole sort of body armor look. Well, I've already filmed it, so I guess they are now anyway. But yeah, they sort of resemble very, very, very loosely the general design of the Nova Corps, but they just look more like space police. They got like chest armor, maybe a gauntlet on one hand, thigh protectors, and they got a helmet on. Yeah, it's all right. I prefer the normal Nova design, but that's just me.
Character.
I don't really know what these Novas are going to do. I reckon, looking at their design, they're probably just going to have like arm cannons. I don't think the Nova Force is going to have much to do with it. Nova Prime might, but the others, nah.
No Richard Rider either. Yet. Who knows? Post-credit scene, I'm hoping.
Well, Richard Rider is Nova, so...
I mean, you just don't even need to make him appear. Just have someone off screen say, "Blue blazes."
Yeah.
You just, you
real.
know. You'll know. You'll know. Of course, character I'm most interested in seeing being unveiled properly is big old Ronan, the Accuser.
Oh, I forgot he was in it, yeah. They haven't said much about him, really.
He's going to play a villainous role. Still don't
Is
think
it?
that's making much sense given the
Well,
circumstances.
you know, he always does what's best for his people, so he can be in a villain role quite easily. He's been in many villain roles in the past, but technically they've served his planet. Planet's best interests, sort of, sometimes. Other times he's just followed orders. Not a terrible guy, he's just, you know, a bit zealous sometimes. Crushes people with his hammer a bit too much.
Yes, and says stuff like, "You stand accused" or "You are guilty," and is all the better for it.
Yep. Yondu's in this. Not quite sure how he's fitting into it. He looks okay. Looks a bit weird compared to comic book Yondu. He has kind of a flat red bit on the top of his head, which is probably going to stick up at some point to form a little sail, but yeah. And I hope he at least has a bow. It's not Yondu without a bow. Who else is in the film? Collector's in the film. Not really sure how he fits into it, but he's in it. He'll probably be one of the antagonists. I don't know who plays him.
Name escapes me. Name escapes me. It's something. Yeah, Benicio del Toro. That's the guy. Yeah, he was at the end of Thor's The Dark World, so
He was. It was interesting.
which I've now seen.
Yeah. What did you think of that?
It was okay. I mean, certainly averted my problem. My main problem with the first movie was that there was no giant battle, really. Your climactic fight took place in a small desert shantytown, kind of. The biggest set piece was, what, a gas station getting blown up? Like, come on, guys, you're playing with gods in Asgard here. You can do something a little bit more grander scale than...
This time it was in London.
Yeah, maybe I'm just biased. Oh, they said it in my country, therefore it is the best thing ever.
Well, I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. Oh, I guess they had to do it to make it more realistic, but I'm not such a fan of like Asgardian space lasers. I would very much like to see, instead of these really weird kind of boat-looking hovercrafts, the actual proper Viking longship spaceship that's just a Viking longship in space. That was always hilarious and awesome.
I don't think mortal minds could handle such a...
Yeah. The Asgardians in the comics don't have any kind of lasers, it's just magic and swords. And the occasional staff magic laser, I guess. Yeah. They have crossbows and catapults, but they have no space lasers. Neither does the Dark Elves. Anyway, besides that, I thought I liked it a lot. I didn't even know Kurth was in it until my friend pointed it out to me. Kurth, I think it was Kurth. Was it Kurth? Thor: The Dark World, Curse, rather. He was in it, and he was the horrible monster thing that one of Malekith's troops got turned into. It was really cool. Wasn't as good as comic book Curse, but you know, comic book Curse is like 12 feet tall and super ripped.
This is going to be a major spoiler for the movie, by the way, but I'm shocked that they killed off Loki. That seemed incredibly bizarre.
Killed off who?
Loki.
I didn't kill off Loki.
Yes, they did. Killed off Loki, did they not?
No. Spoilers ahead if you don't want to spoil. We'll put a link somewhere in the description that will tell you what time the spoilers are. Well, we're going to spoil stuff on this podcast anyway, so I
don't promise anything.
Yeah, we might put it in, we might not. That's great, isn't it? I'm sorry. Loki didn't you see the end bit where Thor goes back to Odin and it's obviously Loki in disguise?
Whoops, may have missed that part.
Did you miss? Oh my god, that wasn't even a credit scene, man. Yeah, he goes back at the end and he's like, "Oh, father, I've blah 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 blah," but Loki died, and Odin's like, "Oh no." But then it turns out to just be like Loki. He shimmers, all right. He shimmers and turns into like some guy. I don't know what it is, but anyway, yeah. I don't know where Odin is, but that was Loki.
Never mind then.
Yes, no, Loki is not dead.
Of course not. If they can't
Loki.
kill off Phil Coulson properly, what chance do they have of killing actual major players off? Should have known.
Yeah, the only other gripe I had with that movie was Odin. What is he doing? He's like, the Dark Elves are attacking, and he's like, I must go now to stop this very small thing somewhere in Asgard that's not even important while everything else is happening. And I'm like, shouldn't you be levitating outside, growing to giant size, snapping your finger and making them all spontaneously combust? You're Odin. you can do that with a thought, and yet he's striding through the halls with his spear, hand to handing, and I'm like, well, what are you doing? You could literally stop them from doing this with a sneeze, and yet he's just.
We'll get to more Odin incompetencies later when I discuss a certain comic book storyline I read, which also involves Odin sort of dropping the ball on numerous occasions, but we'll get to that later. Are still movies to be discussed.
I don't know that. Anyway. So yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy looks good. Balls in your court.
Balls in my court, and I'm gonna dunk some Justice League War. Because we need some damn animated movie discussion on this.
I
Because
watched some YouTube clips of that, and it looked really good.
For every ball that DC may drop in the live action department, their animated movies are head and shoulders above whatever Marvel's put out animated.
I don't really. They put out TV series, they don't put out movies.
Yeah, well, there are a couple of standalones, mostly Ultimate Universe stuff, which automatically deducts some points if you ask me.
In general, DC's movies can be hit and miss. Some of them, they're either really bad or they're pretty good. You never really get an in-between movie, I don't think. But Justice League War looked really interesting. It had Darkseid in it, I think.
It had
only about
15-foot Darkseid. I did not know what they were going with that. I'm pretty sure. I don't remember him being that tall in the comics.
He's not that tall, but it helps to like relay his strength and his ego, so I was cool with that.
So it was a pretty good movie. I mean, obviously, big point of contention is giving Aquaman the shaft in favour of Shazam, which
in this new universe you can forget about Aquaman being on Justice League forever. Pretty much, it's not going to happen.
Well, in the comics, he was there, and Shazam wasn't in this origin story because he was sort of at the back of every issue, well, not every issue, but some of the issues where his origin story was being told. But he wasn't actually there when Darkseid first invaded, and the League banded together for the first time. And what's even more confusing is that most of the sort of middle to end battle takes place right by the ocean, and you're just like, that it's as if they wrote Aquaman out of the script towards the end of the project, because there's so much stuff where they could have included him. It's taking place by the waterfront. You could easily have Aquaman. And plus, my problem with Shazam, not that I have a problem with his character, but you've already got Superman for the sort of flying brick archetype. I know Shazam's magic, but that's not really going to do much against...
Is Aquaman not on the Justice League in New 52?
He is. That's what I'm saying. In the storyline, Shazam wasn't there. It was Aquaman. For the movie purposes, they replaced Aquaman with Shazam.
Is Shazam on the team anyway in New 52?
Not really.
Oh, okay. Well, they've been bringing him back. I mean, I'm just going to call him Captain Marvel for now because that's who he is.
You can't. We'll get sued.
I'm sorry, but I really don't care very much for the whole lawsuit thing. He's the guy's character, and he's an awesome character. They started bringing him back quite a lot. I mean, he was present for years, but either to copyright or not popular, I don't know. But they've been, I think they might have just circumvented some of the legal things recently and started chucking him into quite a lot of things. He had his own movie. He's had quite a lot of things done. He's been revamped in the comics. He's had his own story arc, origin story revamped, which generally would happen in a very small issue, but that's been given its own sort of comic almost. I haven't heard anything about Aquaman really. I mean, I got the figure for the new Aquaman. I really like it. It's awesome, but I get the feeling they're perhaps trying to, at least for this purpose in the movie, Shazam's more important to them in their eyes against at least the fan base than Aquaman is. Aquaman's awesome, but he's had a lot more coverage in Justice League than Shazam ever has.
We'll be able to sort of do a little wink to that when we get to the end of this Justice League War discussion, because there is something to discuss in terms of Aquaman. But getting back to the sort of summary, if you will, of the movie, you got basically starts out and you've got Green Lantern. It's the first character introduced. Hal Jordan. He was sort of very cocky in this movie. Maybe you could say comic relief in a way. That might be going too far though. And they depict their scenes with him and Batman pretty well in terms of source material and source relativity to the comic book storyline. Sort of has that same reaction when he finds out that Batman doesn't actually have any powers.
I thought a lot of the banter between. Batman is always like pretty much almost emotionless. I thought he was done really pretty well.
You've got you got a nice scene when Green Lantern's asking him like, "What's next? You got a satellite or something?" And Batman just sort of turns around and smirks.
Yeah.
He's like, "I was kidding. You have a satellite?" Great.
There's some really. I think I'm glad they're rebooting all of it, because there's that kind of magic you get when they first sort of would have. Pushing all the sort of old continuity and stuff aside, just those characters and their power set, what would actually happen when they met, given their personalities, and yeah, I thought it was pretty accurate. That kind of thing, what would happen. I remember you were like saying on Facebook as well, while Batman's pretty awesome, if he had no prior knowledge of Superman, there's no way that he would be able to beat him. He'd try his hardest, and that's what we kind of saw there. But he would fail, because you can't.
I thought that fight was probably the... guess I could say best scene in the movie. Might as well just go all in and say, yep, that was my favourite
thought
scene.
It was the most realistic portrayal of what would happen in a I just met you
and this
scenario
is crazy.
when they would fight. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I love... I think there's a scene when they're in like the sewers, and he's asking him how he got his powers. Green Lantern is like, "Do you not have any like super speed or whatever? You're just a man in a suit." And Batman's just like, eventually he just holds up Green Lantern's ring, and Green Lantern's like, "What? How did you get that?" Whoa! And Batman's just like, he gives it back to him, and Green Lantern's like, "You won't do that again." And Batman's like, "Unless I want to." And I'm just like, oh yeah.
He's pretty much Batman at this.
So much swag, and I'm like, well, he's great.
He's got it's the Batman you want to pick. I thought in terms of, because obviously they've chosen new voice actors for all the characters. I guess as part of this whole reboot effort, because this is basically in a way following the New 52 reboot, because they had the previous animated movie was Flashpoint. Paradox, which was basically when they rebooted in the comics as well. So in a way, they're running parallel to what's happening in the comics.
Yep.
In a way.
So he was actually in the cast. There was Green Lantern, Flash, Superman, Wonder Woman,
Cyborg, Shazam.
Was a Cyborg.
And we're missing a member. Aren't we missing a Flash, of course? Barry Allen.
I said Flash.
Oh. How you ever get Batman?
I liked Flash. When he was like he was going all googly eyed over Batman, was like, "Oh man, you're actually real. Whoa. I think you're so cool." And it was adorable. Then like Wonder Woman's introduction was pretty good. I don't even know where she came from. I haven't watched the movie, but I watched clips, and she just appears out of nowhere and starts hacking robots apart.
She sort of does appear. She's with Steve Trevor, because that's how it goes in the comics. Except New 52 has shifted around love interests in the fact that Superman and Wonder Woman are pretty much together as a couple. So Lois Lane and Steve Trevor have basically been given Das Boot, as it were, as main love interests for those two. and they just put them together because apparently superheroes hooking up is now A-OK in DC's books.
Yeah.
And you can sort of see a bit of intimacy between the... Well, intimacy is probably going a bit too far down the line, but you can definitely see it in the movie. There are hints that they might develop a love storyline between those two.
Yeah.
Not
It'd be nice to see just doing something different, you know. I mean, I like the characters a lot, and I think it's really good just having a fresh start because that gives you a chance not only to do new things in terms of like the story, and how that works, but also the personalities of the characters. I don't want to see them becoming a carbon copy of what they were. That's pointless. I don't want to see the same Superman as before or the same Batman, and definitely not the same Wonder Woman. It's fine having, because they can't have super different personalities, because they are, of course, but I was a little bit sick and tired of the angry Amazon trait. It's awesome in things, but after a while I'm just like, all you do is shout and go back to wherever
Themyscira.
Yeah, wherever that is,
Paradise Island.
and rule, and that's it. You don't do anything else really. That's boring. I'm sorry, that's just boring. I want to see her develop as a character, have an actual personality, have likes, dislikes, not just be the like, I'm an Amazon in the group. I'm strong, independence, kind of like Superman. I prefer to see, you know, I haven't read the comics, but every single animated thing I've ever seen apart from this one, because she's new, has been exactly the same Wonder Woman over and over and over again. And I'm a bit tired of it. So I'd like to see definitely at least her getting an overhaul in the personality department.
Cyborg, I thought, had a really cool sort of introduction.
I never saw him in any of the YouTube clips.
He gets pretty good justice in this movie. I've never really been a fan of him, but they make him out to be pretty damn cool in this movie, especially when he first sort of gets transformed. And it's like he's inside, they put him inside the machine, and it starts bonding with him because he's got sort of apocalyptic, I don't even know what you'd call it. It's from Apocalypse. From old Darkseid's planet. It's when the mother box exploded because he went and grabbed it because his father wasn't going to his football matches. his pig tossing matches. And when he went to confront him in the lab, he sort of grabbed the mother box, saying, "You're saying this thing is more important than your own son?" He grabs it, and it's about to open and go off, and it explodes in his face and causes him to lose a few limbs, and he starts to get sort of apocalyptian gunk all over him that somehow ends up, he gets put inside a machine, and it somehow ends up taking parts of the machine and melding it onto his body. And he sort of gets encased in almost in sort of a coffin fashion, and it starts to mold around his body, and he basically looks like a really cool Terminator sort of guy before eventually the armor starts to reform and he looks more traditionally like he does as Cyborg. But for that brief moment, he really does look like a Terminator. It's great. In Flash doesn't really get much of an introduction.
Yeah.
Sort of, I think in terms of, in fact, yeah, Cyborg is really the only character that you get his sort of superhero origin story in this film.
Yeah.
Everyone else, they sort of expect you to know.
The others very much just sort of popped up, at least from what I could see. Batman sort of gave a bit of a backstory speech, but that was more because he's Batman and he gives nice speeches. I think, when did the Flash turn up? Did he just turn up and punch a robot and then do an awkward handshake?
Well, Flash it's already established in the comics and I guess in the movie that Green Lantern and Flash know each other prior to this whole meeting anyway.
Yeah,
they were
they
apparently
do.
buddy beforehand for whatever reason. So they know each other, and that's basically he knows He knows how, and then he first shows up when... Well, he first shows up when he's talking to Silas, Victor's father, about lab results and whatnot. That's him out of costume. There's a whole... And he's all in the CSI office. And he got food for his co-workers, and they're complaining about how he's always slow and late, and it's like, yep, we get it. He's the Flash, so it's ironic that in his normal life he's slow with tasks. And there's that. That's basically his introduction. Doesn't really get a major role. There's a cool bit where Darkseid shoots 2 different Omega beams. They split.
Yeah.
And one chases Flash and one chases Superman. So Flash manages to actually outrun his, whereas Superman gets hit by his eventually. I thought that was pretty cool, because Flash should be faster than Superman, at least when it comes to general, running away from something, even though Superman's flying.
Well, Superman has to build up speed. I mean, technically Flash does too, but I always thought Flash's acceleration was faster than Superman, because Superman's fast, but he's always had to build up that speed eventually. Whereas Flash can build it up a little bit, but if we give him like a couple of seconds and he can go around the world. At least top acceleration.
So yeah, Darkseid arrives. He's about 18, 20 foot tall.
He was big.
It's Steve Blum sounding like a Reaper.
Is it Steve Blum?
Yeah.
Oh
It's Steve Blum trying to do his deepest voice, and then they've done some post-processing audio work to make him basically Sovereign from Mass Effect. That's what he sounds like, in a way. I wasn't much of a fan of that. I still think Michael Ironside from the Justice League cartoon and the Superman cartoon is Darkseid's best voiceover so far. In anything, he sounded more natural. It's not too deep, but it's deep enough for the god of evil, as it were. And so, yeah, spoiler alert, they send him back to Apocalypse. They stab his eyes out. Or I think Wonder Woman stabs his eyes out to stop getting Omega Beam. Darkseid.
Wow.
They stab his eyes out. I'm pretty sure he's going to recover from that, because otherwise, blind Darkseid ain't no fun. Now, here's the thing. Post-credits scene, right? They're very popular these days when it comes to comic book related stuff. A spoiler alert, of course. Ocean Master, who is Aquaman's brother, declares war on the surface world. Now, this is where Aquaman is going to come in. I reckon the next movie will involve him heavily, because obviously his brother's just declared war on the surface world. So
he's been deposed one way or another.
So we're going to get Aquaman. That's what I was waiting to say.
Yeah.
He might have been shafted for this movie, but we're going to get him.
Yeah. I love it. I see. I love Aquaman as a character. I think he's awesome, especially when he has a beard.
That was a long time ago.
And I know, but he should always have a beard. He just
and either a hook for a hand or a water veil hand.
Yeah. But I also like Shazam, and I don't know. Whenever Aquaman was in animated things, he always got pushed to the side. He'd be there, and he did something, and they'd be like, "Thanks, buddy," and then they just go and talk to somebody else, and I'm like, "Oh, Aquaman, oh, you poor thing." At least I guess I think Shazam will kind of maybe. I don't know if they're going to keep him in the Justice League or not, but it seemed like he could banter a bit more and actually be acknowledged and not pushed to the side. So much hate for Aquaman, but I like him.
I think that hate has sort of subsided after people have seen Injustice and all that.
Which I don't think is very. I think that's a bit jumping on the bandwagon, but there you go.
Yeah. Yeah, it's sort of like, Aquaman's cool now, you guys. Let's like him now. Yeah.
He's the same as he always was. We're seeing him in a slightly different light. It's a new game.
It's just the Super Friends cartoon that's always painted Aquaman and put him down. That was it. And how you can base that as a serious piece of source material, I'll never know.
Oh dear. That's pretty much that covered, I think.
Yep, that's movie talk covered. So, how about we turn the page?
You do.
Well,
I have I don't know. Did I discuss Infinity last time?
I did. You hadn't
You
read it
did,
yet,
yeah.
so I guess you can give me your thoughts now that you've finished it.
Well, I haven't read anything apart from that. Not really.
Well,
I
you've
read
been
some
reading
of the.
Avengers Volume 3 a lot.
Yeah, I read a bit through that. Not much happened really. Wonder Man got resurrected again.
Who Wonder Man?
And
We
the
hardly
Grim
know
Reaper
ye
was
most of the time.
going cray-cray with mystical powers. That was alright. Silverclaw was introduced. I like Silverclaw. The Vision's still rebuilding himself after he got sort of blown to pieces, but not quite blown to pieces. What else happened? Scarlet Witch is trying to control her powers better, learn proper magic, control. Morgan Le Fay took over. Morgan Le Fay took like the really powerful Twilight sword or something that Asgard has, and used it to alter the entirety of reality. And obviously failed because she didn't put enough restraints on the Avengers, which she kept alive for some reason or another.
Well, Morgan Le Fay's a scrub and should have, let the big boys handle the Twilight Sword. Let Surtur handle the Twilight
Well,
Sword.
even Mordred, who is pretty stupid at times, was like, "Look, girl, I don't know why you're keeping these guys alive, but this is stupid." And she was like, but they're my pets now. And he's like, they're going to do this one thing or another. And she was like, oh no, they won't. And then they do. And she's like, oh dear. Meanwhile, because, the only reason Thor discovered that was he went back to Asgard and everybody was gone. And Asgard was in ruins and the Twilight Sword was gone. And they found the Twilight Sword now, and Morgan Le Fay's defeated, but Asgard hasn't come back to like proper repair, and all the Asgardians are still gone. So I'm not really sure what happened there. We'll find out sometime. Obviously, they came back, otherwise the continuity would be ruined. So I read that. I was just looking at my comic folder to see if I read anything else apart from Infinity. Nope, Infinity was pretty much the other one I read. And I thought it was quite good. I should have stuck more to your essential reading order, as there were tons of issues that literally repeated the same panel from a different angle. Case in point would be like Warbird and Spider-Woman had the same iteration of the story retold 3 times, but from slightly different angles, and slightly different things happened. And I'm like, yeah, this is really boring.
Yeah.
But it was different comic issues, so I liked Thanos' backstory. It was really gruesome.
He's cray-cray. But man, Kronos is a boss. Don't know why he just left though.
I would have preferred if they kept the story. I thought they blended the storylines together as well as they can with the Builders and Thanos, but I would have preferred if they kept them as separate things. Maybe running alongside each other, but not intertwining as much as they did, because some stuff got lost on other stuff in there. I would have preferred they focused on Thanos for like one run and then the others for another run. It felt a bit rushed to me. At least the Builders part did. There was that big space battle, then not much else happened really.
Yeah, I think the Builders needed more exposure and time.
Yep.
I think Thanos got his time in the limelight for most of Infinity.
So yeah, I forget it because it kept being intersected with like the same issue of Builder stuff, but yeah, he did get pretty good coverage, especially on Earth. He came down and got frozen in like a block of amber again, which is hilarious. That's his never-ending fate to be a living statue.
A block of living death, apparently.
Adam Warlock turned him to stone once, so this is pretty much the similar thing.
What did you think of his generals, the Cull Obsidian, as it were? The Black Order?
What generals were there? There was the
You had Ebony Moore, who was the one that ended up betraying him and letting his son go free, and sort of whispering in his ear, "Oh, you should probably like kill your dad," or no, not kill him,
That was
but
interesting. Yeah, I like him.
he was a real creeper. You had the leader was Corvus Glaive, who was sort of the Grim Reaper looking dude with the sharp teeth.
Him and Proxima Midnight had a thing going on, and she was just really stupid and held a spear at
not just a
something.
thing, they are husband and wife.
Well, yeah, I know. Yeah.
That's more than a thing.
Which is really, like, yeah, it's like, we want to die and kill people, but we're still in love, and I'm like, yep, well done, congratulations.
You had the aptly named Black Dwarf.
And Black Dwarf was a bit of a scrub.
He lost to Black Panther off panel.
This is the thing I'm like.
And then,
ridiculous.
as I complained about this, I've complained about this to you, loses to Black Panther off panel and then puts up a strong fight against Annihilus, Super Skrull, was it Ronan and Gladiator?
And Mr. Fantastic, I think. Oh no, is that a different?
No,
thing?
Mr. Fantastic was on Earth. That was a fight on.
Oh, it's
Titan's
Super Skrull was
moon.
stretching. Sorry, yeah. Yeah, that was just a bit
ridiculous. And then Super Giant was kind of just extra. She was sort of the mind reader.
Oh yeah.
Blue faced alien woman.
She got
an antimatter bomb courtesy of Lockjaw teleporting.
I love it was Maximus as well, wasn't it? Yep. Ooh, that was You don't goof.
Indeed. What? It said woof. I don't get it. How can you understand it? I know you're mad, but you're mad.
Oh, I love Maximus. That scene was beautiful. I just like Maximus. He's great fun. Proxima Midnight was kind of cool. I like Corvus Glaive. Then she just scrubbed it up and threw a spear, and somebody dodged it, and she impaled her own husband with it. And was really sad about it, and then couldn't go on and fighting, and which was
Well, she's the only one. Well, actually, Ebony Moore's still alive, but she's the one that's entrapped with Thanos, so she could still be making up future appearances. Ebony Moore's somewhere out in space with Thane, probably.
Oh yeah, they went to space, didn't they?
Probably feeding him. I honestly think that he's the man of the house in that partnership.
Well, he would be.
Even
if he didn't use his power, he could still influence him very easily.
I mean, the dude stole information from Doctor Strange, for crying out loud. That's no easy feat. And turned on Thanos without getting any repercussion.
Yeah.
A cool dude.
Partly because Thanos didn't really know it was him. I mean, for all he knew, his son just went a bit aggressive on him.
His son suddenly got released from the capture. Strange.
Actually, I forgot about that. Yep. I thought his son was pretty cool. I also like how. I mean, I thought when I saw the panel of his dark hand, and then he had his other hand, I was like, oh well, the dark hand will be killing stuff, whatever, and then the other hand will be for healing, and it's like, no, he's the son of Thanos. This cannot go good one way or another. He just gets, ultimately, he just gets done over so badly, and his left hand causes death, and his right hand causes living death, which is even worse.
But of course.
And I just thought, I mean, I feel really sorry for him, but that was a great sort of it's so sad, and all these villagers died, but that's what you get for being the son of Thanos. I'm sorry, kid.
That was his choice.
In this comic book line, you cannot have happiness. You're the son of Thanos. At least not yet.
Remaining child of Thanos, actually. He went on a cosmic trail, killing all of his other children. For some reason.
He felt like it, yeah. And then Death tries to talk to Thanos, and he's like, I don't want to talk to you anymore.
he leaves her.
Don't like you anymore, baby. And she's like, Thanos. And I'm like, go away.
Great. So she basically influenced him to cause all that destruction, and now he's like, yep, I'm scrubbing you off too. I'm my own crazy king now. Time to go kill my last remaining son. Oh, that didn't go so well. How about that? How about them Infinity Gems? Oh, well, they're all destroyed but one.
I didn't know how that happened.
Oh, that's before Infinity.
Yeah.
Captain America tried to push back one of the alternate Earths for the incursion, and it broke the gauntlet.
Wow, really?
Yep. Captain America is apparently too much of a scrub to wield ultimate power.
Okay then. Which one was kept?
Oh, I can't remember. Well, it wasn't kept; it disappeared. The other one's like
Oh,
was shown
yeah.
breaking, but one disappeared. It might
I
have
think
been
that was
Mind Gem.
probably the maybe Mind Gem, maybe the Reality Gem.
It could have been the Space Gem.
Or the Space Gem.
That would make sense.
Lost
in space. Ooh.
I guess it is pretty ridiculous to push that back because it's like multiversal stuff. But remember when Reed tried to, he gathered all the gems together, and Archie was there, and they were like, "Take the gauntlet off, man! Take the gauntlet off!" And he was like, "Oh, it didn't work." And they were like, "What?" And he was like, "I tried to will the gems to like make themselves not exist, but it didn't. That didn't happen.
That wasn't much of a plan."
Nope, that didn't work.
That's sort of the old ask the genie for 3 wishes. Your first wish is genie go die.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't think that'll work.
It's just like, I don't really feel like doing that, man. It's like, oh, okay. Yeah, this is pretty good. I haven't really read anything else. Not really. I've been too busy.
Well, let me tell you, boy, have I read some stuff. I don't even know if I should go through a certain order. Doesn't really matter. Well, tying into Thor talk earlier, I read Fear Itself, the main run of it anyway, and Odin's brother is awakened because Red Skull's daughter Sin finds a hammer. Oh, not a hammer. Was it a hammer? I can't remember. It was an Asgardian weapon and turns into what's his name? Kull. I think it's Kull Borson is the name of Odin's brother, and he was actually his older brother, so he was once the All-Father, and technically the rightful All-Father.
Did he become the serpent, or is that another?
Yes, he is the serpent.
Okay.
He's not the Midgard. He's not the Midgard
always...
serpent, but he is.
No, I was always
serpent.
confused the identity of that. I was like, is he a god of fear? Or I don't really know.
He gets more powerful.
It's weird that Sin would do that. She kind of dropped off the face of the earth after Captain America died. I never heard tale of her again.
And then a bunch of superheroes and supervillains approach different Asgardian weapons and get turned into sort of heralds of the serpent, if you will. And so Hulk turns into Null, the Breaker of Worlds, and Juggernaut turns into one of his guys. That's also how Colossus became the new Juggernaut, or became empowered by Cyttorak, because they went to inform him that Juggernaut had basically foregone his position as his champion, and he didn't really do it by choice, because once you got near the Asgardian weapons, you'd basically be transformed anyway.
Cyttorak got mad.
Cyttorak was butthurt that Juggernaut wasn't his chosen champion anymore. Gave the gem and whatnot to Colossus instead, and that's how he became the new Juggernaut in a way.
He was going to give it to Magic or Ileana, who for some reason now is kind of really, really butthurt about being ruler of Limbo, and he's kind of crazy. She's a bit horrible. So yeah, Colossus was like, "It's okay, I've got this," and he's changed now. It's really sad because he was just always really happy, and now it's pretty much everything with him and Kitty has fallen apart. Colossus is like really bad now, and I'm like, no, Peter, you were so good. Why?
Remember when Cyclops was good too? Yeah, those were the days.
Oh, I do. Remember how now he condones mass genocide? Oh, I remember that. What an idiot.
It's like, we've already got Magneto, thanks. We don't need Magneto with I-beams.
No. Jeez, he's worse than Magneto. Magneto's good now.
Magneto's basically top dog.
Pretty much.
In Charles's stead, we've got good old Max, Eric, Magnus, Lencher, Eisenhart, if you want to go extreme and merge all of his names together.
Yep. Pretty much.
Magnus the Red.
Oh, man.
Remember when he was called that and took that identity? Those were the days of yore. Anyway, back to Fear itself. So Odin, super fearful apparently of his brother, or probably doesn't have the guts to kill his own brother, I guess. So he wants to destroy the Earth. He prepares Asgard to destroy Midgard.
Yeah.
Because all father, all knowing, all seeing father is apparently an idiot at times. Thinks, well, can't fight him, of course. I'm probably way more powerful than him at the start of the story because he hasn't quite rejuvenated his power yet. But you know what? Instead, I'm going to sit back at my home base and prepare to destroy our planet instead, for no good reason. And Thor completely chews him and spits him out for it.
Good.
And he can't believe that he would do that, condone an entire planet. And Odin basically treats his son with no respect for such decisions. Actually depowers him from Mjolnir for a while.
Wow.
For his troubles too. See, this is...
Is he still King of Asgard?
Yes.
Oh my god. He's an old fart that makes the right decision sometimes. 90% of the time nowadays. I mean, it was always like said or like implied that he was really strict. He didn't want to interfere. He's just a right old crotchety, horrible man nowadays. He's like, we don't need to protect them. We owe them nothing. And I'm just like, wow. And Thor rightly says, look, man, we're the protectors of this world. And he's like, not anymore. And I'm just like, just get off that throne, Odin. You're a terrible ruler now. He's not even a good... he used to be competent, and now he's just bad. And I'm like, what are you doing? You should not have that awful... Ruin King Thor, let's just do it. It needs to happen.
Bring it back.
Bring it back.
Play it again, Sam. Well, I mean, I don't have much more to say on Fear itself. Thought it was a pretty good storyline. I think considered kind of few character deaths. Bucky dies, but obviously that didn't last very long. Who else died? I'm trying to think. So there was another. Pretty sure there was another major character death in there somewhere. Just can't. Why is it not coming to me? Oh, I can't remember. My powers, they are fading. I've lost the ability to remember.
Oh wait, he's already dead.
Well, Fear itself was before AVX, so he would have been alive at the time.
Ooh, he's already dead.
He's dead now. Ooh, he did. Yeah, does never speak at length of AVX on any of these podcast episodes. He says as it might inevitably come up anyway. Ooh. Okay, it wasn't that bad of an event. It just characters suddenly became really incompetent for the sake of, yo, you know what sounds like a cool storyline? We'll get all the kids hyped. Avengers versus X-Men. Yeah, we're so cool.
Well, I mean, bad storyline. It's just weird how they... I mean, I guess Phoenix Force is pretty powerful, but I mean, geez.
Why isn't Namor with them? It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, I'm here, guys. I'm gonna be one of the Phoenix Five. Destroy Wakanda as well, because why not? I mean,
why, Scott? After all you've been through with Jean and the Phoenix Force, come on. You'd think he'd know better by now. And then he's just like, no, Charles. And I'm like, well, well done. Why couldn't you die instead? Professor X is a better character. Jeez. Oh, well.
Cataclysm ended in the worst, one of the worst endings to a comic storyline I've ever read.
What was Cataclysm?
The end in quotation marks and exclamation marks and pretty much every other mark under the sun you can possibly think of in any language on the earth.
Oh, the Ultimate.
Yep, the Ultimate Universe did not end. Spoiler alert, it's still going. What a surprise. It's like you've got this baby puppy that walks around and, well, never behaves, but secretly really malicious and evil and serves no purpose, and you're just about to bring the hammer down on it, and then it looks around in puppy eyes and you spare it. That's basically the only analogy I can think of. And they've spared it. They've spared the ultimate
Oh, that
universe.
poor puppy.
That puppy does not deserve life, because
Oh,
it is the
God.
ultimate universe. It is 1-6... What? I can't remember the Earth name for it now. Is it 1616? Or 1610?
I don't know.
I can't remember. It's something along that. Whatever it is, it doesn't deserve life. And so, yep. Reed sends Galactus to the negative zone. That's their big plan. That's their big story. You think Kitty Pryde might die because she's fighting Galactus because she grows to an abnormal size.
What?
Uses her intangibility powers to trick him and fight him and dodge his stuff, and then Reed activates the portal to the negative zone, and all the other people are like, "What are you doing? She's still up there."
Mm.
And so Miles Morales, who is Spider-Man right now, because obviously Peter Parker died years back, in the Ultimates, and who else? Was it Storm? Sue? It was either Sue or Storm. Sue Storm. Might have been one of them. And yeah, they go and save Kitty before she gets drugged in. But then before all that happens, Thor comes back, blasts Galactus with some lightning, and then he himself ends up getting sucked into the portal with Galactus. So now they're both in the negative zone.
Thor
and
will
that's
be
basically it.
fine.
I mean, it's Ultimate 4 anyway, so, can't
Yeah.
not too many tears shed.
Ultimate Thor's pretty cool, but I don't have any great love for the Ultimate universe anyway. So.
If for some reason his weapon is like half hammer, half axe. Never understood that.
Yep. For cutting and smashing.
And yeah, that was an incredibly disappointing ending. I thought, I've been invested in this storyline all the way up to this point, and now you don't have the guts to put. Even if they didn't end the universe, they might have done something a little more satisfying an ending than just, oh, by the way, we're going to send Galactus to the negative zone.
Oh, here's the panel.
And where does that leave Galactus for future storylines? Like, I'm pretty sure if that dude dies, bad things are going to happen.
Yeah.
And there's nothing for him to feed on in the negative zone, which will inevitably lead to him dying. Although I'm guessing he probably will find his way back to 616 eventually, probably become a villain or something for a new storyline in the future.
Sure, he can build a machine that would get him somewhere.
He'll just end up eating Annihilus. But then Annihilus regrows inside him and becomes Galactus.
I wouldn't put it past them.
Well, stupider things have happened, such as in Future Foundation, which is another storyline I read. The new one, not the old one. The new one was the one with Scott Lang, She-Hulk, Medusa, and She-Thing, or Miss-Thing. Is it She-Thing or Miss-Thing? Whatever, it's Darla. What's her name? Darla something? Johnny's girlfriend, on and off girlfriend, wears a Thing costume that is actually sort of like the Thing. It's not just a costume she puts on, it doesn't have any powers with it.
Oh.
But yeah, those four take over for Reed and co. because they go off to space because apparently they're dying and need to find a cure out in space because the cosmic radiation that gave them their powers is now suddenly beginning to kill them. Space cancer, man, it's serious business.
Yeah.
And so you've got this very sort of non-serious storyline, but at times it's serious because Scott Lang wants to get revenge on Doom for killing his daughter. So, but the ending is pretty good. I mean, I was very hot and cold, like sort of on and off throughout the run of all the issues and stuff. Some of it was interesting, some of it was not. And the art is a bit weird, sort of very kind of pop arty in a way. But yeah, I mean the ending. Scott Lang delivers a severe beatdown on Doom, and it is wonderful to witness because it's like you don't expect Scott Lang to stand a chance against Doom, but eventually he pulls off a plan that leaves Doom powerless. Also, there's another stupid story thread where apparently in an alternate timeline, Doom, Kang, and Annihilus form to one person to become Doom the Annihilating Conqueror. And I'm not making that up.
It's just one of those days.
So when I was saying earlier about Galactus merging with Annihilus, stupider things have happened because I have witnessed them.
Parallel universe stuff is always ridiculous.
Doom the Annihilating Conqueror is a trademark, and we live in that world, and we have to deal with that. There's such a thing as Doom the Annihilating Conqueror.
Hey, come on, man. Doctor Strange fate.
That's cool. He looks cool.
It's OP.
Doom the Annihilating Conqueror. Let's bring 2 Fantastic Four villains and then an Avengers villain for no good reason together.
Who, oh man, who did Superman merge with in that thing?
Captain America.
So, yeah.
To become Super Soldier.
I love when Batman merged with Wolverine.
Yeah, that makes no sense. You would have thought Batman and Captain America would have been a better merging.
Oh gosh, Wolverine and Superman.
No,
Can't be stopped.
Adamantium Superman. I'm sorry, Link, I can't give credits. Come back when you're a little OP.
Oh dear. Who did Thor merge with? Did Thor even merge with him?
Maybe not in Marvel vs. DC, but in the Amalgam universe, he's called Thorian or Thorian, and he's merged with Orion.
Oh my gosh.
Best character ever. Don't you be hating. Well, Lobo the Duck is the best character ever, but
They had to, didn't they? They had to. Such strange fate.
Dr. Doomsday, another crazy name. See, Doom the Annihilating Conqueror is stupid, but Dr. Doomsday, now that I can get behind that.
Oh, where's the list of Amalgam characters? Amalgam story arc, maybe?
I've still yet to read any Amalgam comic.
I read the one where it was the proper crossover, and that's it.
Yeah, they're in that. That was a weird storyline as well, because you sort of had these 2 brothers that represented both universes that fought, and like they were even more powerful than the Spectre and the Living Tribunal.
Mm-hmm.
Living Tribunal also appeared at the end of that Future Foundation run for some reason, even though canonically, I'm pretty sure this is after when he was found dead on the moon in New Avengers. So
dead on the moon.
So yeah, he for some reason he finds it necessary to show up and keep Victor scarred for life as a punishment.
Wow.
Oh wait, no, I know why he shows up. It's because Doom attacks Uatu, and yeah, Big LT doesn't take too kindly to that and appears. And it's like, yeah, his punishment is to scar Doom for life, because obviously Doom keeps repairing his scars because he keeps gaining these sort of nigh omnipotent powers, like with the Beyonder and stuff. I mean, Scott Lang even mentions that.
Oh, right, I didn't know that.
Like, oh, you only wear the mask because you want to tell yourself that you have this scar imperfection to hide your real imperfections. The fact that he's a deranged egomaniac.
Yeah.
For a start. So yeah, that sort of delves into his psyche a bit.
Shall we just take a look at these characters that crossed over? We've got Agamotto Empress, which is Emerald Empress and the Eye of Agamotto. They merged. We've got All High Father Odin. So
Wait,
it's pretty much.
Oh right, yeah, it's High Father.
Merged with Odin.
Makes sense.
Wonder Woman and Storm merged to form Amazon. Angel, Hawk, Hawkman, and Archangel. We've got Aquaman and Namor.
That makes what's he called?
Aquamariner.
Oh.
Or just Mariner. He just looks like Namor with a beard and blonde hair. Oh dear. Let's have a look. We've got Bane and Punisher.
What's he called?
Banisher.
Excuse me, I think my heart stopped.
Oh.
Banish.
Wotan and Baron Mordo.
Okay.
I got Baron Zero, which is Mr. Freeze and Baron Zemo. Man Bat, Swamp Thing, and Man Thing merge. Okay. And then Beastling, which is Beast Boy and Beast. Big Barda and Sif merge, and apparently Big Barda also merges with Titania.
So what's Big Barda and Sif's merger called?
That's called Big Sif.
Oh wow, pulling out all the stops for that one.
Yep. Oh my gosh, can I get an image of this? Oh, I'll come back to that one in a second. We got Black Cat and Batgirl. We've got.
Let me guess, Black Girl.
We've got Bizarrenage, which is Bizarro and
Oh yeah, I've
Carnage.
seen that.
That is insane. Black Canary and Jean Grey. Chunk and Blob.
Why Black Canary and Jean Grey? I guess for the same gender, but I would have merged Black Canary and Black Bolt together. I mean, they didn't really do cross-gender stuff, but
Massive.
that makes sense. Whatever. We'll let that one slide.
Flash and Cannonball.
Why not Flash and Quicksilver?
Well, Flash is already as fast as he can be, really.
That's true. You're not really going to add any powers by adding a slower man.
Yeah, let's just slow him down.
Except you could have Flash with just propped up silver hair. Slick back silver hair Flash. That's
Dead Man and Daredevil. Deadshot and Bullseye.
Let me guess, Ball Shot.
No, Deadeye.
Oh man.
Detective Chimp and Devil Dinosaur.
Okay, now we're just moving into silly territory.
Okay, you've got to be kidding me. These aren't even some of the ones that happened, but this is Doctor Eternity, or Alternity, which is Doctor Fate and Eternity merge. Doctor Doomsday, Doctor Strange Fate.
The Doctor will see you now.
We've got a lot of these I don't really know. Goliath and Green Arrow. Green Lantern. Okay. Martian Manhunter and Phoenix become Green Phoenix.
Wow.
Hawkeye and Green Arrow can merge. Iceman and Ice and Iceman rather, and then Aquaman and Iceman. Insect Queen, Mary Jane Watson and Insect Queen. Iron Man and Green Lantern. Kang the Conqueror with Time Trapper.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Lebat, Batman and Jubilee.
Are there any Gambit mergers in there somewhere?
I don't know, I don't think so.
I know you'd merge Gambit with.
Got Lady Deathstrike with Talia.
Actually, Jack of Cards, or any of those Flush House gang? Any of those members with Gambit would make sense, considering his whole throwing the card motif. Royal Flush gang.
Yeah. Molecule Land. Multi-Man and Puppet Master. Triplicate Girl and Multiple Man. Bane and Nuke. Oa and Ego the Living Planet.
Yep.
Ooh.
I can tell this one's
Hasty
gonna
to
be.
Pete.
What?
You're gonna love this one. Wait. Race to defeat. Is a member of the Legion of Galactic Guardians 2099. And he is, get this, he's an amalgam of Matter Eater Lad and Paste Pot Pete, or the Trapster from Marvel.
Goody.
Oh, Matter Eater Lad. It's just, what even is he? What does he even do?
Eats matter.
He has the ability to bite through and consume all forms of matter. Doesn't make any sense. Oh dear.
There needs to be a merging of Galactus and Anti-Wonder.
Could happen.
Anti-Galactus.
Oberon and Puck. Braza Ghoul and Apocalypse.
Wow.
Braza Apocalypse, apparently.
Talk about nothing in common.
Pete Ross, General Ross, and Peter Parker. Okay.
Okay.
Solomon Grundy and Hulk become Skulk. Wow, Speed Demon 2, Flash 3, and Ghost Rider 2. That's pretty OP. The entire universe, Penance Stare.
Oh man. Have you ever received a pennant stare at light speed?
Superman, Jor-El, and Thor. Oh, here's Thorian the Hunter. Oh, these are ridiculous. How do we even get on this tangent?
I don't know, we were talking about Doom the Annihilating Conqueror. And it just went downhill from there. Not that Marvel gave us a good start to begin with.
Yeah. Well, I haven't really. Oh, wait, here you go. Obsidian and Gambit. Let's check that is actually Gambit proper.
Do you know any other Gambits?
Yeah, that's proper Gambit. Who's Obsidian? Together they are Wraith.
There's already a character called Wraith. He was an Annihilation Conquest. He made the Phalanxes scared of him.
But this is DC as well. Obsidian is the son of Golden Age Green Lantern Alan Scott.
Mm.
And one of the few gay superheroes in the DC universe. He has a variety of shadow-like powers from his father's exposure to shadow energy.
Are you telling me this Obsidian character is gay?
Sorry?
Are you telling me Obsidian is gay?
Yes.
That seems stupid. Just because his father's gay doesn't mean that you have to make his son gay too.
I didn't even know who his father was. He can reform from any attack. Even Captain Marvel's Thunder. When in shadow form, that is. Yeah. Hulk and Solomon Grundy was pretty ridiculous. But then again, Thorion's ridiculous too.
You'd just like to think that he would have his he would have Mjolnir sort of resting on his little.
He would still have the space bike.
Yeah.
Space scooter.
Maybe it'll be in the shape of the hammer.
Well,
That's what he rides. Oof, man.
I haven't got any more comics to talk about.
I have one more that I've read. I've been reading. The new Thunderbolts.
Do tell.
An interesting team, sort of pretty much the anti-hero team. You've got leader Red Hulk, Ross, good old Ross.
Oh yeah, there were some of those in Infinity. I like their storylines. And they've banded together because Ross has problems that need sorting out, and for every problem they sort out of his, each member of the team gets to pick out a mission themselves. I thought that was really interesting.
Out of a hat.
Yeah, out of a hat for some reason, out of Deadpool's swanky hat.
Yeah, well, quite the team. Yeah. So you got him as Red Hulk. You've got the leader Samuel Stearns, who's kind of but not a villain, kind of sort of a villain at them.
Yeah.
Hard to say.
Punisher.
Punisher, Elektra, Deadpool, Venom, which is Flash Thompson version of him.
This version doesn't eat people.
No, this version he needs the symbiote because he lost his legs in fighting war. And he sort of I guess you could say he's kind of like Punisher with the symbiote suit.
Yeah.
He looks distinctly less alien when he's wearing the stuff and the suit.
Sometimes he goes sort of monstery,
but he's like normal.
Yeah.
Normal suit wise, it looks
body
like
armor, really. Yeah. That's the team, isn't it?
Well, spoiler alert. But as of the latest issue, I think 22, Ghost Rider has now become a member.
He's gone.
So you know. Oh, well, you seem to have been taking that news very well.
Oh, that's cute. Why? How does that even work?
Well, the latest
spirit of vengeance.
You know how they had that Mercy character.
Yeah.
The pink-haired lady who gets off on killing people.
I didn't really know what she was there for, but yeah.
Yeah, I didn't really know. She pops up on me and explains it during the course of the Thunderbolt thing. But eventually, they go to hell with a Ghost Rider because they figure if they trap her in hell, that's where she'll be attracted to hell because that's where, dead are. She gets off on death. So take her to where the most death is. But oh man, what's his name? I need to quickly search this up because I have forgotten what his name is. I'll keep talking as I'm searching it. But they go to. Oh great, I'm getting the old Thunderbolts. I want the new one.
Don't worry, I'll sing songs or something.
You keep doing it. You keep fighting the good fight. Anyway, they go to hell, and obviously Mephisto's there.
Oh yeah.
Because why not? Mephisto's always there, isn't he? It's his place. It's his crib. And still have trouble finding who it is.
Shouldn't Lucifer be there as well?
He's not there.
Oh. I'm gonna say Ghost Rider's pretty anti-Lucifer.
Ghost Rider's pretty anti-everyone in hell.
Do. Boom. I'm looking at a panel and it's got Thor beating up Iron Man. Boo boo. It's when Thor
what you
got
mean.
resurrected.
Oh, right.
Cool. Boo. It's one of my favourite scenes. I think I said it in the last podcast. When Thor was brought back to life after Ragnarok, the cycle ended, and he comes back to life to find that the Registration Act's gone through, and that's what happens in the world now. And Tony comes to him and is like, "Hey, buddy, how you been? So glad to see you. You know you got to register, right?" And Thor he's like, "You value your life, you'll just not say that to me again." And Tony's like, "Look, man, I'm sorry, but we're the world now." And Thor just absolutely destroys him, beats him down, rips off his face mask, destroys his armor, and tells him to walk back home from this. Really, because I think Thor was at a place that had been hit by like a flash flooding or a hurricane somewhere in America, and he's just like, "Yep, you can walk back now." He's
I
like,
found out who it was.
okay, you go that.
Yeah, so they talk to Mephisto, and he's all like, "Guys, I have a problem. You know, Guido Carosella, aka Strong Guy.
Yeah, I know Guido.
Yep, he's sitting on the throne of hell now.
Ooh.
Somehow he became the king of hell." And Mephisto's like,
just like, oh, it's kind of awkward, guys.
"I need you to get." He's like telling Ross, "I want you to you want me to take Mercy here." Actually no, he doesn't tell them about that. They don't tell him about that part. They're just like, "You want me to get you back out of hell? You need to get this guy off my throne."
Oh my
No,
god.
and then they're like, "Oh, why can't you do it?" And he's like, "Binding contracts and all that, rules and all that." And so yeah, Red Hulk and all that fight him.
Yeah. So I always liked Strongman's a really good character.
And eventually he sort of forfeits the throne, and they offer him to come back to the living world, and he's all like, he chooses to stay in hell for whatever reason.
Okay then.
And Mephisto gets his throne back and all that, yada yada yada. And eventually they lure Mercy into hell, and Mephisto's like, "Oh, you guys tricked me! What is this?" Blah blah blah. And then when they get back out from hell and back to the real world, Ghost Rider joins the team.
Okay.
And that's
Does,
that's the current issue. So
Is Mercy happy with Hell?
I guess
Uh,
don't think we're ever going to be seeing her again.
oh, good. I didn't really get her anyway.
So yeah, really interested to see where the team goes now that they've got.
I can just imagine literally his first issue is just giving the penance stare to Frank Castle.
Oh, I'm sure that'll work out great.
Well, yeah. Is there no other way it can go? I don't know. Yeah, it'll be interesting.
I don't know how guilty Frank Castle can really be.
Well, I guess in his own eyes, he's not very guilty. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Compared to somebody like Deadpool, but then Deadpool's insane. You could argue that who's on the team again? Flash Thompson's off the list, pretty much. What about leader?
Electro.
Elektra's not so bad. He didn't kill anyway, so well, not nice people. General Ross has done some pretty horrible things. Technically, he's a good guy, but you know, he's done some pretty bad things for his country.
He was basically a villain before he underwent the transformation.
Very much so. Yeah.
It's no longer cool to hate on Red Hulk. That initial time where he first appeared and was sort of this unstoppable force of nature, and everyone was like, "What are you doing, guys? You can't just the new guy on the block can't be unstoppable."
Yeah, I don't even know why he was there. He just turned up. And
They didn't actually. You didn't actually know who it was at first. That wasn't explained to a later storyline, which is also when the Betty Ross came back and was Red She-Hulk. Because why not?
Why is leader red now?
I have no idea. Probably thematic consistency of,
Yeah.
he's under Red Hulk's leadership now, so let's make him red because he's no longer fighting Hulk.
Oh, so is that all we've got for this?
Pretty much. That's.
Shall we to, because I'm just loving this Thor panel so much. Shall we read a little bit from it? It's only like three panels really. Can have an outro to Thor beating on Tony.
Certainly one way the world can end.
He's so beautiful. I like Tony, but back when Tony was being stupid. They fought before. They fought in Latveria, I think, when like followers of Thor being persecuted by Doom or something, and Thor was just like, "Oh, nah, dog, these are my people." And then Tony used a gem that Thor gave him as like a gift, to power this Asgardian, like, well, it was Asgardian powered armor. It was his armor that he made, but yeah, and he used it, and he took it into battle against Thor, and literally Thor's initial reaction was, "You took the gift I gave you, and you made a weapon against me." Suffice to say, and then it was hilarious because inside that suit, it like got blown up by Thor, obviously, because he was Thor's OP. And then inside that one, he had his like his classic Iron, not his like Mark 1 Iron Man, but his like one of his classic Iron Man suits on. And then Captain America, who was sort of on the sidelines, telling the soldiers not to fight, just comes out of nowhere, jumps on his back, pulls him to the floor, and is like, "Turn your brain back on, Tony. What are you doing?" But then Thor gets really angry, and then he dents Captain America's shield, and he's like, "Oh, what have I done?" And then he mends it with his hammer, and then he just flies away. Poor Thor.
Yeah, no.
So yeah, is that all we have to talk about before I read?
Well, we could discuss what is in the future, because both Marvel and DC have released their solicitations all the way up to May, so
Ooh.
we could talk about future storylines.
Nothing.
We haven't said much on DC's part this podcast. Pretty much only Justice League War, and that's it.
I don't know DC.
I do though. I got this. Forever Evil still not over. It's getting there. I think April will be its final issue release, because issue 6 comes out next week. Looking forward to it. But I do kind of want it to be over now. It's dragged on a long time, because they've only released one main Forever Evil issue a month for some reason. Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Whatever, and because there's 7 issues for it, that means it will go over half a year. The storyline that's been running for over half a year is a long
Yeah. Through the magic of YouTube, I need the toilet. We'll be back in a second. If you'd edit that in, Jordan. Thanks.
magic of what my own dead in.
I'll be back in a second.
Sure you will. This is the part where you boogie. This is the part where you dance.
There is a difference between you and me. We both looked into the abyss. But when it looked back at us, you blinked.
Ba, 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 ba,
Redo.
magic.
Do this entire thing all over again. You ruined it all.
Oh.
If only. If only we could. If only we could be so bold as to. We could retcon this. I've gone back in time and punched my old self in the face because I invented Ultron.
I killed myself back in time. Oh, no.
Now Galactus is in Zimbabwe. That's what happens. They mess with time. Anywho, what were we talking about?
No, you want us to talk about DC?
Forever Evil. Yes, I think I've said all I needed to say about Forever Evil. It has run its course, for the most part. Maybe Ultraman will, like, have a change of heart and stay in the main universe.
Oh, man.
I really much doubt it.
Does he still explode when he touches Superman?
I kind of think they've done with that, because he's not from the antimatter universe anymore. He's from Earth 3, which is the origin of all evil. Which doesn't make any sense, because I don't think Darkseid's from Earth 3.
Right.
Darkseid's from the fourth world, in a way.
Darkseid's Darkseid.
Darkseid is probably the villain behind all this. That's kind of a cop-out, though, because he was the villain for the origin story part. And he was the villain in Final Crisis. So, you know, I think he's had his time in the limelight for the past few years now. Give the man a break. Give the man a Snickers. I think Darkseid would like Snickers. Or would he Omega beam you for even offering the thought? Now, the Marvel side of things, we got Original Sin meant to be starting up in April, I believe, which is when trying to find out who killed Uatu the Watcher. Who was it? Was it you, Jack? Did you kill him?
Is he dead?
Not yet, but he will be. I think the purpose was to steal his eyes and discover all the secrets in the universe, because apparently that's what happens if you take the Watcher's eyes out.
Apparently.
Make it up as you go along, Marvel. Don't mind me. Maybe they'll finally describe and explain what happened to the Living Tribunal as well while they're at it, because we haven't had any answers with that.
It might just be like the universe is colliding, and he's like, I can't take this guy.
Dead.
What would be beautiful if there's like an evil living tribunal from another universe that just came and punched him in the face and he died.
It looks exactly like the Living Tribunal, but it wears a top hat and has a twirly mustache. That's what I want. And I'm probably going to have to now Photoshop an image of that to stick in the podcast. Because for some reason I'm like that. I get an idea in my head and I'm like, boy, I'm sure going to end up doing that sometime down the road.
Oh boy.
What else? Silver Surfer's getting a comic thing. It's the same artist that did the Future Foundation run, so once again very pop arty. Sort of going to be very hit or miss for people, I imagine, because certainly it was hit or miss for me.
Oh well.
I'm not sure what you do with the Silver Surfer now, because good old Galactus is nowhere to be found. He's currently off partying with Annihilus, I'm sure, drinking tea. Yeah. Ghost Rider's coming back. Well, I mean, he's already back, but he's going to get his own series, and now he drives a car rather than riding a bike, because someone at Marvel was drunk at the time.
Uh-huh.
Stupid.
A little bit, yeah.
Fantastic Four are apparently going to fall apart. Though, remember when they said they were going to do that last time, and Johnny stayed dead for about 10 issues?
Oh, is he not dead anymore? Oh.
He's been back for a while now. I think they said they're going to kill a member of the Fantastic Four, but then it's like, that narrows it down to 2 people, if you ask me, because they're probably not going to kill Johnny again, and Reed is far too important in the Illuminati stuff to really kill him off yet, so it's either going to be Sue or Thing, if you ask me.
Yeah. Well, sorry, Sue, but you ain't Ben.
Yeah, you ain't Ben. You're damn right about that, as I almost tip over my speakers.
It's only clobbering time. I mean, she doesn't even have a catchphrase.
Exactly, she's just like, oh, I kind of hate you right now, Reed, because you're a pompous science jerk.
It's invisible time. No, doesn't really know. No.
And Reed is the ultimate plot device man. What's that? Celestials are coming. Let me just build a celestial killing weapon. It's like, excuse me, mate. You like do that for every villain you come on. And the dude is basically BFFs with Galactus, for crying out loud. Galactus has sworn never to eat the Earth because he considers Richard's a friend.
Really?
So yeah.
Pretty sure he came to eat it quite recently.
Yeah, well, I don't remember him antagonizing Earth recently. He's been getting owned a lot recently.
Yeah, he has a bit.
He was all the way dating back to Annihilation, where he was thoroughly trounced by Aegis and Tenenbaum? Yeah, Tenenbaum. With the help of Thanos, of course, and then was captured by Annihilus to become a universal destroying bomb. And he wasn't
And
too happy
freed
about that.
by
And he
Thanos.
was like, "No Galactus and no fear!" Shot some high beams and severely weakened Annihilus, and then Richard Rider went, "This is for Nova Corps," and ripped his gut out of his stomach. Pretty damn awesome. I did like that ending. Because
Yes.
Annihilus is a scrub.
Um,
And then
Yeah.
Chaos War, he got, once again, sort of sidelined because Amatsu Mikaboshi, or whatever the hell he's called, the Chaos King, is the super uber new threat. I thought he was really cool looking, at least in his true form. I'm
Who?
sure it was the Chaos King.
Who's the Chaos King?
From Chaos War. Oh, have you never read Chaos War?
Probably not.
That's a good storyline, kinda. Well, it's the one where Hercules gets his time to shine. It becomes a Skyfather.
So, oh, you mean
And grows to
the
giant.
Japanese god of evil?
Yes.
Yeah, Mikaboshi?
Yeah, his full
I
name's
love
like
Mikaboshi, he's
Amatsu
awesome.
Mikaboshi, and he's the Chaos King. And his true form is like super black and tenderly, kind of like Venom, but I think he looked really cool.
It's pretty good.
And then Galactus sang a lot, so. And also you had the part where the Mad Celestials came to kill Reed, or something. Maybe it was Franklin instead, and
Well.
and Galactus happened to be on Earth at the time, and a couple of the Mad Celestials thoroughly trounced him. But then future Franklin arrived and was like, "To me, my Galactus," and just you're like, "Oh yeah, I forgot Franklin's broken beyond all belief. Galactus is my herald." Oh boy.
Didn't Galactus try to eat Asgard recently?
Oh yeah, that one was. Well, no, he didn't try to eat Asgard. He wanted something from Asgard
Yeah.
and threatened to destroy it. And Odin fought bravely, but obviously didn't stand much of a chance. But though for some reason, when the destroyer showed up, Galactus was like, "I'm out of here. I don't want anything to do with that." And I was like, "What? What? So you trans Odin, but as soon as his bodyguard shows up, you're like, his walking tin can shows up. You're like, oh, I'm out of here. Don't want anything to do with you guys."
Mm-hmm.
Actually, that reminds me, there is a, well, it doesn't really tie into the Destroyer or Galactus or anything, but there was another storyline I read, which was the latest Defenders, which had Doctor Strange. Who was the team? It was Doctor Strange, Namor for a bit. He sort of bails halfway through. Red She-Hulk.
Oh.
Other people. Oh, Iron Fist.
Yeah.
How am I not remembering these people? Defenders, who are you? Who are your members? Well, at least your latest members. I know the classics was... Oh yeah, Silver Surfer, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah.
So those were the members, and that ended up going into a really weird storyline. Oh yeah, Black Cat and Nick Fury kind of, when Scott Lang sort of were on the team as honorary members in a weird way towards the end of the run, and that basically culminated in some group called the Death Celestials, because apparently there's so many splinter groups of Celestials. You got the Mad Celestials and the Death Celestials, and it seems like the ending's really weird. It's like Akira's ending, where the universe sort of ends but might restart, except like it never really gets addressed in any other storylines. So
Yeah.
honestly, very Doctor Strange. Yep, that's my attempt at a
Oh
joke.
boy. Right, I think we should probably
Before I make any
end
more bad
on
puns.
that bombshell. Apart from anything, your microphone is starting to sound really crackly on my end, so I think that's a wrap for this time.
Join us next month when we will probably still be gritting our teeth about what was it? I've forgotten the there was one Amalgam character earlier that you mentioned, and we both lost our minds.
What a Mattery lad combining.
Well, yeah, there's that one, but there was one
Oh.
before.
I can't remember.
There was so many.
I don't know. We'll see.
Probably Thorine.
Probably. Oh yeah. Do you want us to do this? Should I do a dramatic reading of reading? Finally, of this Thor panel.
Take us out. Take us home, Billy.
Have you got a specific voice you'd like me to do?
Thor's voice.
I don't know what Thor sounds like.
I like to think he sounds like by Odin's beard. Well, not really like that, but
My Odin's beard, my Odin's beard, my Odin's... That's what he said. He literally said nothing apart from that.
it's like Groot in that sense. He only says one line.
What do you think we should do, Thor? By Odin's beard. Indeed.
Maximus and Thor should have a buddy cop scene.
Oh, I should. Well, in the 3 panels before, Thor is choking Iron Man, and he rips off his faceplate with a crunch. Iron Man is suspended in midair because Thor's like 7'5" or whatever, pretty tall. Have you ever noticed that?
Not really.
Oh dear. And then he's just like, Tony's face is just like, "Argh!" and all scared because he's a baby. And Thor's just like, give your orders and ultimatums to those who choose to obey, or are too cowardly to fight, not to me. Or learn again the difference between a god of thunder and a mortal man in a metal suit. As for your masters, since power is all they understand, tell them that Thor says this. If any mortal comes uninvited to Asgard on behalf of those who suppose themselves to be powers, within the hour they will learn what true power is. Such boss. Such boss. And he does this all within like a single comic issue. He doesn't swat around with it. He isn't all like, Tony, why could you do this? He just comes back and he's like, I find you doing this, bro. You are no friend of mine anymore.
You made a clone of me.
Yeah, that too.
And that a clone that you forgot to tell it to not be a killer, but
Oh, I guess we forgot something, guys. Oh, yeah, it's a shame about Bill Foster. Oh, well. Such idiots.
Well,
Anyway.
Hank Pym did help make it, and let's face it, if we've learned anything from Hank Pym, it's that he's an idiot.
Don't let Hank Pym make any robots. He's not very good at it. Anyway, that's us out. Hope you enjoyed it. See you later.
Next month.
And you believe your son is safe? I will find him. I will reclaim what you have taken from us. I will find him. I will find him, Lara. I will find him!